I'm going to be keeping an eye on you. I won't let you fulfill his mission. I see one sign of you changing sides, and I'm taking you out. Simple as that. Today on the Comic Book Report, Invincible, The Ultimate Collection, Volume 2. Stick around and check it out. Greetings all, my name is Dominic and you're tuning in to the Comic Book Report, where we review comic books and graphic novels so you can get an idea of what to read. And today, because I can hardly put these books down, we're back with Invincible, this time the Ultimate Collection Volume 2. I don't know about you, but Volume 1 kept me glued to the edge of my proverbial seat. So suffice it to say, I was more than eager to dive into this beauty. So why don't we go ahead and start on our review. First, some quick facts about today's collection. The issues in this volume were written by Robert Kirkman and penciled by Ryan Ottley. The issues collected were first published by Image Comics beginning in 2004. The volume itself collects Invincible issues 14 through 24, the Zero issue, and a story from the Image Comics Summer Special from Free Comic Book Day 2004. And finally, this oversized hardcover edition comes in at 352 pages. At this time, I'd like to issue a general spoiler warning. I will be flipping through the contents of today's collection, as well as commenting on plot points. You've been advised. Okay, and here's our first look at the Invincible Ultimate Collection Volume 2. For those unfamiliar, this is an oversized hardcover with nice glossy print pages, and I'm happy to report the format edition is perfectly uniform with the Volume 1, of course this one favoring the color blue instead of the color red, and you have some new art kind of wrapped around it, but it looks nice and uniform up on a bookcase. I'm sure I addressed this briefly when I covered Ultimate Collection Volume 1, but I'll just say it again. These are some of my favorite oversized editions in my entire collection. You can tell they were made with love down to the tiniest detail. A truly excellent format. Like the Volume 1, these end pages are lightly textured, which is beautiful. This one has blue, the other one had red. Each volume has their own special color. I'll go ahead and give you a look at the dust jacket and the under the dust jacket artwork, which, like the Volume 1 on these most recent editions, is just a reprint of the dust jacket itself on the actual hardback hardcover. I believe older editions of these same Ultimate Collections will have an all-black hardcover with the art only appearing on the dust jacket. So it might be worth noting what year printing you're receiving, because some of the older prints I don't believe have this printed art on the hardbound itself. And now with that out of the way, we're going to go ahead and dive into the collection proper itself. Another thing I love about these Ultimate Collections is we get a healthy amount of special features, added art, things like that at the back of these books. The paper stock is glossy, and it's a nice bigger stock compared to what we're seeing in a lot of the Marvel Omnibus line or the DC Omnibus lately. It's a thicker paper. The binding is excellent, and again, overall, these are just some of my favorite editions out there. You can find a lot of these for $20 to $30 each, which for what you're getting, which is, almost always at least a year worth of the run on Invincible, I think it's a pretty competitive deal. Sometimes you can even find it cheaper on other online markets or even used. But again, if you haven't read Invincible, I highly suggest this means to read them. I know you can also find them digitally in the single issues or even the trade paperback or compendium collections. To each their own. There are so many inroads to read Invincible. This is just the one I picked, and I'm very happy I did so far. Once again, we have the incredible Ryan Ottley providing his pencil work. The coloring just screams off the page. This is such an homage to classic superhero comics as far as the primary color focus and vibrancy, but with a really modern touch, especially down to the writing, the characterizations, and just even some of the issues that happen. The art is incredibly consistent throughout. It's beautiful, especially if you like Ottley's style. I personally really did. You get a sense of comic book mayhem, action, adventure, and the characters just always feel very grounded, and I just really love it. The writing, of course, is Robert Kirkman, who's always fairly solid. I've read Kirkman in a couple things here, The Walking Dead, I think Marvel Zombies, he did some of that I read. And in my opinion, he almost always churns out winners. I really enjoy what he does here in Invincible. It might be my favorite thing he's penned that I have read so far, and again, I'm still making my way through. Narratively, this volume picks up shortly after the events of Ultimate Collection Volume 1, which ended in a stunning finale when you realize that Omni-Man, Invincible's father, was actually a kind of evil alien from outer space. Maybe that's a bit simplistic to look at that, but it's basically like Superman went dark side, tried to enslave the planet, and ultimately was thwarted. He flew away, leaving the world, and especially his family and his son, just in shambles, picking up the pieces of their old life and trying to figure out what the heck to do next. And frankly, that's a tall order, and I understand what challenges Kirkman must have had to kind of top what he did in the conclusion of that Ultimate Collection Volume 1. This is the sophomore year of the Invincible comics, and I have to say, I do think that there's a slight sophomore slump overall. It's still incredible writing, but how do you top what you did in the first year of this run? It's hard to do. And I think that Kirkman did a really great job of establishing a lot of setup and subplots in this next year through Invincible Ultimate Collection Volume 2, and I think it pays off dividends in the years to come of this title. I think at the heart of it, what makes this run so strong is the real slice of life quality. You get to really care about these characters because you get to see them throughout different seasons of life, different environments, different situations. You get to see Mark, of course, Invincible, in his tights flying around, but you also get to see his home life, his school life, his relationship life, his friend life, and everything in between. You get to see a lot of the different character dynamics from the different superhero teams, the villains even, the friends, the family, and oh so many more things on this planet and beyond. And this is really no exception in this volume here, but I do think that this is where Kirkman really establishes some of his subplotting and some of those character roots that we see grow ever deeper issue to issue. As far as a few of the storylines you'll encounter in this Ultimate Collection Volume 2, we have Mark Grayson dealing with the trauma of losing his dad in the way that he did last volume. We have him graduating high school and starting off his life at college, the dorm life. We have him building his relationship with Amber. We have some of his first adventures in space, this time having a crazy adventure on Mars. We have him working alongside some of the new Guardians of the Globe, working for Cecil Stedman. We have him going underwater to this kind of Atlantis-like world. There's so many fun little adventures here. We have him teaming up with Titan. The list really does go on. And overall, this collection also feels very episodic, where almost each issue is its own kind of solo adventure, with the kind of life of Mark Grayson kind of being the through line through a lot of it. It also establishes, like I said, a lot of rich subplots, but there is a real issue-by-issue adventure quality to this, which again, I think establishes the world building in new and interesting ways. We get to see more space stuff, more Mars stuff, more undersea stuff, and more like street level heroic kind of gangster mafia stuff. And I think that it was so smart because it makes this world feel so much broader by hitting all of these different areas. We also get to see more relationship building with his friend Eve. We get to see kind of, again, his relationship with Amber and kind of the dynamics and the triangles there. And at the cusp of that high school graduation, starting college, we have a real changing of the guard for his life seasons. It really coincides with the loss of his dad, him flying away from the planet and kind of betraying him, all that stuff. We get a lot of changing of the guard. We also get to see some really sad developments with his mom, kind of succumbing to alcoholism as she tries to cope with everything. Like I said, it's just a powder keg of interesting things and world building. And overall, even though this book didn't necessarily reach the heights of the previous collection for me, it really was a setup and foundational volume for the rest of the lore of the Invincible series, and it's not without its own merits. I think for anyone who maybe is not into as much the superhero genre of comics, but maybe wants to give it a try, this is certainly a title I would recommend to anyone in that case, or especially if you love the superhero genre. Because at its core, this is a love letter to that very genre, and you grow to love these characters, and that drags you all the way through each and every storyline. And it's nice when they don't have to play under all the strict rules that you get from the big two at Marvel and DC. They're able to push the envelope in some ways without being too far from family friendly. Don't get me wrong, there's plenty of violence, some language, and some sexual situations, though it's pretty light on that from what I've read. But overall, a darn good superhero comic. I think also because it comes from the same writer and the same 1 to 2 pencilers, there's a real sense of continuity here and attention to detail that I just love. Also, I know at least for me, at this stage in the book at least, there's a real sense of nobility to the protagonist, Mark Grayson. He really is just a good-natured guy that's trying to do the best he can with the hand he's been dealt. And so far in the series, you see him just hit by tragedy after tragedy or hardship after hardship. And I think there's a sense of realism with how he handles it while still retaining those aspects that make him superheroic. There is that aspirational Superman Boy Scouty kind of value system that he seems to have. Though he's not perfect, he has a temper, there are moments you see that temper, but overall he seems like a good-natured, good-hearted guy that you really get to know throughout the series. It's impossible not to just root for him as you read page after page. I think something that Robert Kirkman, the author, does that I've seen him do in Walking Dead as well as this is he can make a very simple concept really profound based on the character drama. The Walking Dead is really a zombie series. Zombies have taken over the world, and that's the whole premise. What makes that book so amazing is the character drama and the characterization. The same can be said about Invincible. He's a superhero. He fights evil villains. That's the premise. But what makes it stand out is that character drama and how much you grow to love the characterizations. There are some great plot twists, some great tragedies, some great comedic moments, but it's the characters. It's that character drama that makes this such a gripping series and really a testament to what makes Robert Kirkman such a master of this genre and of storytelling in general, in my opinion. And as you can see, we've reached towards the end of our collection here. We're on to the special features section, as I call it. We get to see a lot of sketches, artwork, and just miscellaneous special features. Like I said, these Ultimate Collections all appear to be loaded with these. So if you're a fan like I am of some of the kind of behind-the-scenes things, this is just a treasure trove for them in these Ultimate Collections. Have you read Invincible? Do you plan to? Let me know in the comments below. I love hearing from you, and I'd love to hear your thoughts. Yeah, we're even treated to some scripting pages. This just gives you a little bit of everything. And anyway, we're starting to reach the end here, but this is the Invincible Ultimate Collection Volume 2. I really hope you enjoyed my overview, and with that, I think that all that's left to do is to give this collection a grade. For its episodic yet gripping sophomore effort, The Comic Book Report happily gives Invincible The Ultimate Collection Volume 2 a B+. This successfully takes the reins from Volume 1 and does the best it can to world build and deepen the characterizations and relationships throughout. There are some incredible stories here and a rich bunch of subplots introduced. A fantastic title to be sure, and definitely not one to sleep on. This is a high recommend for me for anyone who enjoys the superhero genre and beyond. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, this has been the Comic Book Report. Please don't forget to give this video a like, subscribe to my channel, and even check out some of my other videos. And until next time, have a good one.